All right. I think we're live, guys. Give me a thumbs up in chat if you can see and hear us, and if you can see what's going on. It's hard to tell with streaming sometimes, but I'm so glad to be here. Darren, glad you're here, man.
I'm very pleased to be here. Sorry, I'm forever getting used to this flipping sync delay. You know me. I'm
Yeah.
here for a car crash live. All good. Very good to see you again, Case.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm really excited to have you on here. Excited for people to learn some awesome color stuff from you. And man, just for anybody who doesn't know, I've learned a ton from Darren. Love his channel and been a big fan for quite a while. And very excited to have you out for ResolveCon again, man. This is your third ResolveCon. You were one of
Third
the
one, yeah.
OGs, man.
I can't wait. My bag's pretty much packed.
Yeah.
Get me. It's been raining here all week. Get me out of this country, I tell you. No, I'm really looking forward to it. And and seeing all the crew again. We had such a crack last year. It was so nice. And meeting everyone in the audience, and it was quite a special event actually. So, and I think now we've bonded even closer over another year. It's going to be pretty amazing, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I'm
And I
really
get my
excited. If
own
you guys
presentation this year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you'd be doing a couple things actually. So I'm really honored to have you out, man. And
I'm intrigued what some of
um,
the other things are. Actually, you've sent me kind of spreadsheet, but I don't know that I understand all of it. So I'm
well, we're
sure I
figuring
could
out
learn
details.
lots.
It's okay. We got a month. We got a whole month. We got a whole month to figure it out.
So get your
It's
tickets now if you haven't got them yet.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Guys, if you don't know, ResolveCon is a 3-day nerd retreat, I guess is one way you could describe it. Basically, we have a whole bunch of Resolve nerds, some of the most talented teachers and wonderful people that I've known here in Oregon, where I'm at in the USA, and hanging out and talking Resolve, talking video editing, and just sharing wisdom with each other. Man, I learned so much stuff last year, and I know everybody that comes is going to learn a lot this year too.
Yeah, I
So
learned
we're
a lot
doing
as
it
well.
in
It
person.
doesn't stop. It's like
Yeah, we're doing it in person. We got 3 days, and then we're also streaming about half of each day. So we'll have presentations that you can watch on here on my channel, and that's going to be great. But it's not going to be quite the same as being in person. So if you're on the fence, this is a sign that you should go. You should you should pack your bag. You should get a flight out and come hang out with us. So
do it. I'm reading a couple of messages. People saying my audio's low. I've just upped it a little bit, so let me know if that's better.
yeah, wondering if I can help in any way too.
I've just cranked it up a little bit. Maybe I'll just project it a bit better. Let me move my mic.
There we go.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really fun. I really can't wait to see everyone again. It's going to be, and a different venue as well, which would be nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Big
really
up.
exciting. So yeah, so Darren, for anybody who doesn't know you, isn't familiar with your channel, will you kind of give us the spiel? What are you about?
What am I about? Wow. I've been in the broadcast industry for so long now. I keep getting my numbers confused. Probably coming up for 30 years in the broadcast industry. I run a post facility down here in
But you're only
Brighton.
like 35. How does that work?
Yeah, something like that, mate.
Huh.
Just
So you've been in,
just
so
hit
you started when you were 5 years
55.
old.
Wow, I just hit 55. That's when you start
Dang,
getting
man.
emails about your pension. It's very scary.
Wow.
So yeah, done me porridge. So I set up this company 1999. So you probably weren't even born then, Casey. So
I was too born then.
it's scary. Yeah, I get CVs coming in, people's date of birth. I'm like, I was here for 5 years.
Crazy.
It is
Yeah.
crazy. So, but I'm a colorist, so I've been using Davinci Resolve for 13, 14 years now. I was using other systems before that. I was an editor before that. I studied photography at art college, was my main entry into the world of color. And then, so we do a lot of broadcast documentaries. I do a lot of stuff for Amazon Music, do a lot of music videos. I do a lot of BBC. I've just finished a big BBC job, and that's out in August the 19th. BBC One, if you can get it. And yeah, so that keeps me very busy. But obviously, during the pandemic, color grading wasn't so popular because nothing was being filmed to start with. So I started a YouTube channel, and the rest is history, really.
Man.
I haven't seen a Saturday since.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you're coming up on a big milestone here for your channel, isn't that right?
I haven't been looking, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
No, I'm joking. 98,241. Um, yeah, no, super excited. It's come really, really quick. So I'm nearly at 100,000. So thank you everyone who's here, who's obviously helped me get there. I am absolutely blown away by those numbers. So it's just over 3 years, 3 months, I wish. 3 years and a month, I think I've been going. So it's pretty phenomenal, really. So yeah, I'm really excited. I hit 50,000 at ResolveCon last year. So I keep looking this way because I can see Casey on my monitor.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why I'm doing that. So yeah, I hit 50,000 at ResolveCon. So that's pretty cool. So I think, going by my stats, you can never tell. Everyone might suddenly unsubscribe, but should hit it in the next couple of weeks.
Wow.
And I'm going to do.
So what happens after that?
Yeah, I'm going to do a big live stream for it.
Ooh, baby.
Great. I've kind of been trying to do a live stream every 10,000, but that's not happened in the last 30,000, I think. So I'm going to do a big live stream, and I've got a lot of prizes to give away as well. So I've got some Davinci Resolve Studio licenses, I've got some Dehancer, I've got Omniscope, mononodes. I've got some stuff to give away, so it should be great fun. So it's not going to be anything serious. We just give away some licenses.
It's pretty cool though, man.
Yeah, I'm going to get my play button. I don't know where I'm going to put it, because that is actually a proper blackout blind for my clients. So I just have to put it on. It'll just go up and down as the blind goes up.
You get get like a little stand, like the banner stands or whatever, and just hang it, you know?
It'll be out. Don't you worry. So
Just be half of your screen.
I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, pretty unbelievable actually. So
So cool.
I'm excited.
Well, congratulations, man. You definitely deserve it, and putting out some awesome stuff and do great work. And
thank you. Well, I mean, a lot of it's come about because of you guys as well. So pushing my channel and supporting me and stuff. So it's been, we're all in it together. That's what's really nice. The community. You're going to see this at ResolveCon. Yourself, Mr. Alex Tech, Cullen, all Patrick Sterling, all the guys. We all look after each other. There's plenty of room for everyone to have a channel. There's no competition. We just work with each other. It's a really brilliant community. That's what I love about it. It's
man.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work, as well as certainly and anyone else who's got a YouTube channel. It's not, these things don't make themselves, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
fun journey.
It is, man. Oh, so good. Well, Darren, I hear that you have a little bit of little color wisdom to share with us today.
I do actually. Now, but before that, I've actually had some problems. So, I'll try and keep this quick. But I've been trying to upgrade to 18.5. So 18.5 beta. I've been on 18.5 for ages on my other machine, which is over there. Okay, which is my old Mac trash can, running whatever version it needs to, and not the latest one, but the OS X before that, Monterey. Yeah, it's been running quite happily on that. And then I thought, right, it's come out of beta, which it did this week. If you said you don't know yet, 18.5 officials out. So I thought I'm going to do it on my main system, and realised that my main system has been running Catalina for about 4 years. So, and I now know the reason why. There's a classic expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yes.
This now needs fixing. It's definitely broke. So there's two issues. My beloved Wacom tablet, which you all know I use, this one is about 20 years old. And my faithful pen don't work beyond Catalina. In fact, they don't work very well even on Catalina. So
wow.
I suddenly remembered that. So before I upgrade, I thought I'll check, see if Wacom have updated, which they haven't. So I've got a fix for that.
I love it.
I basically bought a new one. So
oh, nice.
So this one, well, I've not even opened it yet. So that is actually.
Oh, baby, it's a live unboxing, kids.
Brand new in the. Oh, yeah, there you go. So, but in fact, it's a little bit smaller than my other one, but the pen on these, I've touched one of these before. Cullen Kelly's pen I held before, but these I don't like the new pens. That's really annoying me. And I hold that all day. If you've ever seen any of my YouTube videos, I'm always holding this pen.
Yeah.
They're not as nice as the 20-year-old ones, but
yeah,
I have to deal with that. That's something I've got to deal with.
You got to change with the times, man.
Got to change, yeah. So I will do an episode on how I use my Wacom, because loads of people have been asking me that for years.
I would love that.
And I thought I'd actually do it with a 20-year-old Wacom.
It's like first step, go back in time and buy this.
Yeah, everyone upload OS X Catalina to your Mac, which is, for those of you who are on PCs, Catalina is, I think it's 6 years old now. It's crazy old. The guys at Blackmagic Development were just laughing when I said, you know, is it okay? Is it going to work? They're like, no, it's not going to work. So there's that issue, but the bigger issue, when you upgrade to Ventura, which is the latest Mac OS X, which is what I want to go, they don't support Promise RAIDs. So if anyone's got a solution for this, and I've got 3 Promise RAIDs, my whole RAID system is built around Promise technology.
Wow.
So I'm a bit screwed on that as well. And apparently it does work on Monterey, so I've got to go back one version, but I don't even think that's easy to do. So now this all came to light yesterday when I was prepping this presentation I'm about to give you. So I'm stayed on 18.1 because I thought I'm going to be still updating Mac OS X at 10 minutes before we go live. So I'm still on 18.1, folks. This will all change tomorrow. But at least I've done my due diligence. I've backed up everything, and you know, I did check everything first. So you know, you need to judge. I think word of warning there when you're upgrading to a new big fixed version. So 18.5 will not install on Catalina. Sorry, that was the main issue I had. So I just went boldly in. It went, no chance. You
wow.
update. So you know, you have to check all the other things like your storage, your drivers, your peripherals. Just check all this stuff works, you know, before you just blatantly go and install a new bit of software. So
yeah,
just a little bit of advice for you all.
Yeah, that's good advice, man.
So you'd be pleased to know my old system that wasn't broke still works.
Good.
But I can't show you his new features. So, should I do my presentation? Let me show you all the features.
That sounds good.
All right, let's see how this goes. Yeah, we good?
I think we're all good.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Share and stuff.
I'll let you.
You guys hear Darren better now? Is it working and everything? Chris, that's awesome that we met at VidCon. That's awesome, man. That was such a fun show.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. You see my mouse?
Yep. It's funny. YouTube can see it, but I can't see it on Riverside.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, as long as
but it looks like it's working from the thumbnail. There we go.
All right. So, sorry, let me just have a quick sip of water. All right. What I want to show you is just a couple of things that I've been sort of playing with. But I did recently a video. Can I look at the camera? Can you see me at the same time as well? Yeah. I just released a video called My Top 10 Hacks, which went out just last week, and it did really well. It's a number 1 out of 10. So if you do YouTube, you'll realize that that's actually a good thing. So it's performing better than my other videos. And tip number 9, which is a really old one, which is a good job because I'm still on 18.1. This tip has been around forever. I mean, literally 13 years that I've been using Resolve. And I was really surprised.
I'm curious if I know this or not.
Everyone, it was the only one that got commented on. A few others just randomly out. Tip number 5 was good. But tip number 9, which I'm going to show you, but what I'm going to do is take it to the next level. All right. So for my YouTube video, it's just a little quick, 30-second show. I'm going to take it to the next level for you and show you. But tip number 9, it's been an effort, absolute ever. It's such an easy tip. So this is basically the next level on from that. Okay. All right. Okay. So in order to show you that, I need to explain a few things. So I'm in the edit page, as you can clearly see. And what I've got here is, this is a music promo. I've just taken a little sample of it. It's not the whole thing, but it's an actual program that I graded, a music program that I graded. So I've got about 25 odd shots here. Okay, so these are on video layer 1, and they're just running like that. Okay, so these are graded, as you can see, even though we're in the edit page. This is the grade, this is the original shot. And on the video layer 2, I've got an adjustment clip. Okay, so for those who don't know what an adjustment clip is, it's just a blank clip that you can throw on, and whatever its duration is, I can put something on here and it will affect all the clips underneath it. So this could be, this could be things like just resize or little punch-ins and things like that. It could be a slow zoom, but it can also be effects. Okay, so you could put on here, for example, I think I might have done it. Let me just check. So I've got film grain on here, for example. Okay, so you can go to your effects down here, and have a look at all the things that you've got. And where's it? It's not in there. Filters. There we go. And scroll down here. Do you know what? Funny enough, the pen and tablet seems to be really misbehaving now. So probably good job I have got a new one. So down here, yeah, you've got things like light leaks and light rays and glow, all that. So anything like that, you can just throw onto an adjustment clip. All right. So I'm coming up to show you why this tip number 9 is important. Now on video layer 3, above that, I've got these things, these little light leaks. Okay. So if you don't know what these are, let me just show you an example of one. I'll just play this through. These are just images that you can place on top, and they give you these little light leak effects. So it's a bit like lens flare type things.
Yeah.
So let me show you. These are they're really nice. I don't use these a lot, but I have used them before, and they can just be quite effective. They're quite nice as little transitions sometimes, as well as overlays. But these are basically they're just video clips that overlay on top. All right. So these are from M Leaks. So I just want to show you where I got them from. So this is this one. So you can just pick any bit of it, and you can just loop it. You can keep it going. But I got these from Motion VFX, who, as people who follow my channel know that I'm very fond of Motion VFX.
Yep.
They're really good company.
Great people.
I use tons of all my captions are generated with them. They're just brilliant. But they do these things called leaks. They're called M leaks. So I'll just show you quickly where I got them from. If you go up here, I've got this thing called M installer. So you just download this from their site, and it will show you all the packs that you've got installed on your system. So I've got, if I can channel this down to plugins, templates, that sort of thing. Okay, so these are all the products that I've actually got. And it tells you whether it's installed, and you can install it on 2 devices. So you can uninstall other devices and reinstall it from here. Most of the packs I use are for text and graphics and little animation things for my channel. But down here, there's one called Leaks, M Leaks.
Nice.
4K, all right, and you can download these in 25p, 23.98. You can download whatever sort of frame rate you want. You do that in the settings down here, and they're really high quality leaks. So if I go to downloaded, oh, it's going to start downloading. These are the ones I've downloaded so far. So I just took a little sample down here, but there's literally tons of them. Okay, so that's those, and then they just literally go into your folder that you've specified. So they went into my downloads folder. And then I literally import them into Davinci Resolve. Okay, so let's have a look at one. I'm going to take this one here. We'll scroll through. Just choose a bit that I want. Let's take that little bit where that green crosses over and mark it in there. I'm just going to drag and drop it quite randomly just for the purpose of this demonstration, but I'm going to drop it on top of that clip. Now, it wouldn't normally go across multiple shots because it's supposed to be emulating a light leak. All right, so I'm just going to make it go to the duration of this shot here. And obviously we can't see the shot below it. All right, and the reason for that is because our composite mode is incorrect. So these need to be set to screen. Okay, so if you come down here, you choose a different blend mode. I'm going to change that to screen. And then obviously it's quite strong here as well. So we can go here and adjust the opacity of that, just make it a little bit easier on the eye. And we can zoom it in, you can change its position, we can flip it, so if you want it over the girl instead, that sort of thing. So if I just play that back, there we go. So we've got a nice little light leak.
Nice and subtle.
All right, so what I've done, the purpose of this is to build up some extra layers, but I'm trying to do it as these are real things, okay? Now, the problem comes when you hit the color page. I've got a little riverside thing here that I just need to move. So I'm going to go to the color page. Okay, and what you get is V1, V2, and V3. Okay, so these are represented by each of these little blocks, each of these little video clips is represented on my timeline, including my overlays. All right, so in the color page, it thinks this is a clip to grade. I don't necessarily want to grade it. This might be a graphic. So on the example I did on my YouTube video, I had it just as a graphic. You don't want to grade the graphic. All right, so in this example, I've got it as a light leak. And also we've got the whole adjustment layer. So watch what happens when I go back to the beginning and we start grading. We've got clip number 1. So I'm just using my panel. I'm going next clip. Okay, so we start on clip number 2, and then it goes clip number 3, clip number 4. And now it's gone up to V3 because the next clip is a light leak. All right, so this is actually a bit of a pain. This is only on 25 clips. So imagine you've got tons of graphics, you've got tons of these overlays. You're constantly, I can't even tell that that's not a clip really. You know, when you're doing super quick color grading, I want to be able to see the clips that need grading, but I don't want to see the light leaks, okay? And I certainly don't want to see the adjustment layer, which is here, okay, because that's not even a gradable clip. All right, so how do we do that? Well, the easiest way is just to disable V2 and V3. So all my little clip timeline has updated, and all I see now is gradable clips. But what I don't see is the overlay. All right, so that's all good and well. So I've got this shot here. This is the overlay that we just put on, the light leak, okay? But I can't see it. So when I'm grading this shot now, which I can do quite happily, so I'm just on my panel here, grading away, I'm not taking into account what that light leak's doing. All right, so this could be pretty important, especially as I did quite a strong one on purpose. So the hack is, this was the hack number 9 that everyone went, ooh, that's great, is instead of disabling here, okay, what you do is press Option. You'd have to tell me what that is on a PC. Alt, I think.
Alt, yeah.
And then just click V2 or V3, and it goes red instead of disable. And what that does is it takes it out of your clip line, but you still see it. So now when I go previous clip, next clip, it's accounting for the fact there's a light leak on top, allowing me to grade underneath it, but it's not included in my clip selection. So it's a really easy way of just disabling it but still seeing it. So particularly with graphics, you might want to know where the graphics are, because you might do a heavy vignette towards where the graphics are. You might do a bit of blurring. So that is the hack, and it's been there since day 1 that I ever used DaVinci Resolve, as far as I know.
I did not know about that.
Did you
That's
not?
really cool.
Okay, that's interesting. And nor did quite a lot of people, apparently. So according to the feedback I got. So I thought I'd just share that again, but I'm going to take it to the next level now. So that was the hack.
Okay.
I don't know why that took me so long. I did that in about 30 seconds on my YouTube video. The problem we've got now is color management. So I'm going to delve into a world of color management on a live stream, which, as you know, is a very dangerous thing to do.
You don't want to do that.
I'm just going to get Cullen on standby. Hang on. So I hope this works. All right. So are you all still with it? Is everyone?
Yep, we're good.
Yep. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take into fact that this light leak, what's happening with color management with it, okay? Because I don't want it to be color managed. I want it to just be the natural light leak that I downloaded. Or maybe I do want to color manage it. So at the minute, I'm in my standard CST workflow. This is a workflow that, if you follow my channel, you recognize this kind of thing that I do. This is not my actual node tree. I've simplified it a little bit just for YouTube for this, and also for something else that I'm going to show you. All right, but it's pretty straightforward. This is our clip timeline. I've got various nodes pre-built as a fixed node tree. I always work on a fixed node tree. All right, that's a kind of another topic, but my fixed node tree, just be aware that this shot graded does not have 19 nodes on it. It's got 19 nodes on it, but this one's empty, this one's empty, this one's empty, this one's empty. These are all empty. Okay, the only ones that are being used is these first 2. All right, this is just a quick grade. It's not the actual grade. It's a kind of just quick grade for this demonstration. But that's the premise of what I'm doing. I'm working on a fixed node tree. All right, the reason I do, sorry, when I'm working on my fixed node tree system, I'm also working in non-color managed. Okay, so my color science is just Davinci RGB, and my timeline color space is Davinci wide gamma intermediate, and my output, because my display and my deliverable needs to be Rec 79 gamma 2.4. This is not a session where I'm going to start explaining how all that works. It's pretty well documented on many YouTube channels, including yours, Casey. But that is how I'm working. All right. So the light leak is also following these rules. Right. Let me just get my bearings right. So I'm just reading some notes here just to keep me on track. Right. So what I've done is my normal node tree that you see on YouTube has my CST in here. So most of these shots are Canon, and some of them are Sony, okay? I've already grouped them. You can see some grouping going on here, okay? And my groups are split, if I can bring it up correctly, into Sony and Canon, okay? So when I'm grouping, I group camera and scene, all right? So I've just done it, I've been a bit lazy in this one, I've just done it as camera, okay? But normally I'd have exterior 1 Sony, exterior 2 Canon, exterior 2 Arri, whatever it is, okay? So that's how I group my shots. So that allows me to do color management and grouping very easily. So on my traditional YouTube videos, you would see my CST here. My node number 1 would be my CST to take me from Canon to Davinci wide gamut, okay? And then at the end, we would go Davinci wide gamut to my output, which in this case would be Rec 79 gamma 2.4. So we're then working in our Davinci wide gamut node tree, node structure in the middle. All right. In reality, I don't show it. I don't have it as my first and last nodes. Okay. So the reason I do it on YouTube is because it's very difficult to explain grouping and color management before I might even want to show you something about texture pop. So
Sure. Yeah.
it's too much to explain just to get going. Okay. So what I do is my CST to take me from my camera space to Davinci wide gamut is done at pre clip level. So these are already grouped. Okay. So if I go group pre-clip, all right, this is the Canon one, and I can literally take my color space transform, and I can go from Canon Cinema Gamut, because I know what this is, and it's Canon Log 3, and I'm going to take that to Davinci wide gamut and Davinci intermediate. So, okay, so this is regular techniques. Okay, my tone mapping I'd have as none, but let's not worry about that for this. So all those clips in that group now have this same CST. All right, and my CST for output. So that means, sorry, let me backtrack. So it means everything at clip level is in Davinci wide gamut because I've sent it pre-group to Davinci wide gamut. All right, so all my effects, everything here. You see I've got dehancer. My dehancer is set to work in Davinci wide gamut as well. All right, so that's for my film emulation. To come back from Davinci wide gamut back to 709 is done at timeline level. Okay, so I don't even have to group at this point. All right, and I've got here, I normally have a lot more going on here than just this, but for the purpose of this is a nice way to see it. So I go Davinci wide gamut intermediate to Rec 709 gamma 2.4. All right, so that brings everything, my whole timeline, back down to gamma 2.4. Is that all good so far?
Yep.
All right, so the problem with this is this also means, oh, sorry, let me just do the Sony one. So just to show you how I would do that, I go to here, I go to my group and say Sony. Okay, so now what I can do, there's only 3 Sony clips. I can now go group pre-clip and I can very quickly add my CST. I could have prepped this before, sorry.
No worries.
And
Quick question. Galen asks, why not just go CST Sony to 709?
because I've got multiple camera types in the program. In fact, I've got more than multiple camera types. I've actually got lens light leaks as well. So it means that I always take if I've got multiple camera sources, I work a lot on documentaries with I don't think I've done one ever that's only got one camera source on it.
Sure.
So I can put all my camera sources up to Davinci wide gamut. Everything's clean, working in Davinci wide gamut for my big node tree, and then I bring the whole lot back down after. Then if we need to do a P3 DCI, I can just switch my timeline from Rec 709 to P3, and we output correctly. Does that answer the question?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's kind of where I'm coming with this. So I've got my Sony stuff, which I've grouped. So the art of this is pre-grouping it. Okay, even in my documentaries, I'll pre-group everything. Okay, if I've got time. So let's go. So that's all done. So now what I'm going to do is take my grouping off. You see I've got this red line under the clips, which means I'm not seeing my entire program. So I'm going to click in here. I'm going to say all clips. That clears that off. We can see the overlay here because I've got my option click on here. There's my overlay. If I click on that clip, there's the actual overlay. Now this is not in a group. Now the problem we've got with this one, let's find the one we actually did, this one here. Okay, so there's our little overlay. Now if I come back, so this has not got a group, it's not got a pre-CST, but it is sitting under the timeline CST. So it's going from Davinci wide gamut to Rec 709.
Yeah.
This originally is not Davinci wide gamut. So it's not been sent to Davinci wide gamut. So this is the advanced bit of hack number 9, if you like. So it's all very well being able to see these light leaks, but they're still being affected by color management. All right, and that's the important thing. So how do we fix that? If I go, let me just check if I get this right. I need to be on the actual clip itself. And if I go to the edit page, and click on this. So what you can see is as I go through that clip, you can probably see that it's looking like super saturated. It wasn't looking like that before. Okay, it's really strong now. We had that pretty subtle in it. We had it a little bit exaggerated, but it wasn't anything like that. So if I go back to effects, if I push the opacity back, you'll see that clearly is not as it was at source.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I even put the opacity on it, it's really gone. It's really not in the right color space. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back down. In fact, I could leave it up and you'll see the difference a bit clearer then. If I go to my color space now, I need to take off the option clip because I want to actually see it in my clip timeline. Okay, there's the clip there. There it is. And what I'm going to do is put a color space transform on it. I'm going to right click. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to right click. I'm going to put color space transform on it, and I'm going to correctly assign it to Davinci wide gamut. So it's Rec 709 is the source. The input gamma is not gamma 2.4. This is Rec 709 scene. Okay, gamma 2.4 is for a display. This is scene referred. So it's Rec 709, not scene referred. It's not a display gamma. This is the original clip. So it's Rec 709, Rec 709. My output color space is going to go to Davinci wide gamut because this is pre the timeline. By the timeline, I mean the last part of the chain. I'm talking about this part.
The timeline node.
And now we can see that this looks correct. It's back in its correct color space. All right, if I go back to my edit page, we can now put our opacity back to where it should be. But if I bring that right up, you see that just looks, it doesn't look all,
looks reasonable.
Well out of gamma. All right, so that's just something to be aware of, that your color space. Now, the other fix that I could have done for that is we could, instead of using timeline color space, we could use, now this is not in a group, that's why I only have clip and timeline. But if I go to one that's in a group, instead of my timeline being my Davinci wide gamut to Rec 709 or P3 DCI or whatever you're going to, I could have done that at group post level. The disadvantage of that is I've got to do it to each group that I've got. And also there's other things I want to do in the group post clip that I really just don't want to be worrying about the color management because that still has to be right on the end. All right, so that's kind of why I don't do that.
Yeah. That's always the problem I've ran into with the timeline level grading and stuff is like, the overlays and the graphics and stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, that's frustrating. So I always do it with the group thing, but I rarely have more than a couple groups on projects I'm working on. So
depends.
I can see that being frustrating.
If it's a music video, it can be a little bit easier, but the documentaries and longer form things, you can get into quite a lot of groups pretty quick. Do you want me to show you how to do that in not node work, as in like the regular Resolve color management?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, have we got time?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'll make it quick. So I have pre-prepared this. So I've got, you'll be pleased to know, in between trying to fix my actual main machine. So if I go to my edit page here, I don't even need to do that actually. I've got Promo for CSE, and then this is the one. It's an exact copy of it, but this is going to use Resolve color management now. Do you know what? I bet you I messed this up. I could have just left it there and look like it's all worked beautifully. But let's go for it. Let's go for it. All right. So I'm going to go now. Obviously, I've got to change my color management settings. All right. Now this is the disadvantage of 18.1 because 18.5 I can do this at timeline level.
Yeah.
The new project management. So this is something this was really annoying me because I knew I wanted to show this, but like everyone else is on 18.5 going, you can just do it so you can do it at timeline level, not project level now. All right. And the other thing is those blend modes and things you can just do on a single node now. So I wouldn't have had even to go to the edit page. I could just do that on a single node. So the screen mode that I just did. Anyhow, let's go into Davinci YGB color managed. Okay, I'm going to take off the auto color management. If you don't know how to use color management, I suggest you just stay in the auto color management. It works just as well, but there's a few little things I want to change. Excuse me, so I'm going to go to custom. My timeline color space, I was working Davinci wide gamut. Okay, it's a large working color space, and that's where I want to be. Okay, and my output color space is not Rec 709 scene. As you all know, it's Rec 709 gamma 2.4. I'm not going into other things. There's a few other things I tweak here, but this is absolutely fine just for now. All right. So I'm going to press save, and this will just show you another couple of techniques. So what we don't have now is the group pre and the group post. Just check that. So I'm going to go to my color page. So Resolve is automatically color managing my clips for me. All right. But these are not raw clips. This has come from ProRes, so Resolve does not know what they are. All right. So this is very well documented again. Everyone probably knows this. I've still got these option clips so that I'm not seeing the actual clips for my light leaks but they are being affected in the shot, as you can see here. But if I go to group pre-clip, I need to just take that off because we're not using it anymore. And I go to my timeline. That's off already. Yep. Okay. Because we're not using the CSTs to get our color management. We can use Davinci Resolve color management, automatic color management to do it for us. So what I need to do now is tell each group what it actually is. All right. So this is another little just trick that I want to show you. All right. So I'm going to go. So I could go through each shot and work out what it is, but because what I need to do, is right click on it and I need to change its input color space. And it's currently set to Rec 709 scene. And that's because our input color space default is Rec 709 scene. I don't want to change that to be Canon because I've also got Sony in there.
Yeah.
To be honest, if it's predominantly Canon, I probably would change that to be Canon, and I'd just change the Sony ones. But for argument's sake, let me show you how to do it in here. So I'm going to go to my clips here. I'm going to go to my groups again. And in fact, let's do this in Lightbox just to do something different. So, because this is where I normally do it. So you go into Lightbox. I've got a whole episode on Lightbox if you don't know how to use Lightbox, but Lightbox is fantastic,
So
even in
good.
18.1. So if I go to my groups down here, I can now see my groups. So I've got Sony and Canon. All right. So I'm going to go to Sony. I'm going to take these 3 clips here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say input color space, and they're going to become, if I go down here, they're going to become S-Gamut 3, S-Log 3. And I'm going to go to my Canon clips. I'm going to do the same, but they're already grouped, so I'm just seeing those clips. Highlight them all. That was just Shift Command, and I think people know how to do that. Input color space, that's going to be Canon Log 3. Done. Right, so let's come out of Lightbox. So all these are now in the correct color space, and they look exactly as they did before. So they're all looking really nice and rich. I've got the same color grade going on there. But the light leaks are not showing. Now, the light leak, what I'm going to do is the inverse of that. I'm going to go Option, because it's not in a group, I have to go through and find it. And in fact, I can't see them. They're not in here to allow me to actually right-click and change its input color space. All right. So what I'm going to do, is this all making sense?
Yep.
Cool. So what I'm going to do is undo that one, undo that one. I'm going to do V1 instead. In fact, let's do V1 and V2. So only V3 now is showing on my timeline. But where are they?
I think it's scrolled over.
I need to go to all clips. That's why I'm still in Sony. That's why. So it's still, the Lightbox affects what's coming out here. Let me just show you. Because I'm grouped on Canon, sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's why. So it's still looking for the Canon clips. So I need to click on here and say all clips. And there's all my light leaks. All right. So now what I can do is do the same thing I was doing in Lightbox, but I can do it from here. Or I could put them into a group and call them light leaks. But now what I've got to do is right click on these. I'm going to say input color space. And you can clearly see even by the thumbnail that they're in the wrong color space. And I'm going to say input color space. And I'm going to set these to be Rec 709 scene. Are they not updating? Yeah, that's correct. I think they probably were already, to be honest. But that's how I do it. All right.
Yeah,
so it might,
that's awesome.
to be honest, sometimes when you come into the default, the input color space would be same as timeline. There, did you see that go? That's because my timeline, as we know, is Davinci wide gamut. All right, so it's reading it, so it's taking the Rec 709, but it's not displaying it properly because we haven't told it to go to Davinci wide gamut.
Oh, yeah.
So
I could see that tripping you up because I would have assumed that it was Rec 709 scene because that was your default input.
Yeah. So it did do it in that instance, but sometimes it does just say same as timeline.
Crazy.
I think it did it naturally. I think I just rehearsed this before. And
Oh, okay.
it's remembered its thing. So
yeah.
there you go. I told you. I should have just left it early. I was doing fine. So let's put that back to it. Should be input color space. And she's quite good that it's done that because it allows you to see, how to fix if it does do that. So I want this to be Rec 709 scene, and now it looks good.
Nice.
How's
That's
that?
awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's some good tools and tips for people, especially with the color management stuff, man. Do you tend to use CSTs rather than the color management?
Correct. Yeah. Always. 100%. Every time.
And why is that?
Mainly for some funky things that I do, but film emulation can get tripped up a little bit. I use Dehancer now, which has helped a lot, but that Kodak 2383 LUT that's built into DaVinci Resolve is not working in Davinci wide gamut space.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that one just for a start. But I prefer the CST workflow. I prefer to really see the order of operations, how it's working is in my control, not bear in mind, so the Resolve color management automatic is fantastic. It works. I get the same results from it under the same conditions, but the input color space is happening before the color page, and the output color space is happening after the color page, or after what you can see in the color page.
Yeah.
So I like to have it all. Let's all have it inside the color page. The other thing I do very occasionally, less so now, but I do a couple of little things after the Davinci wide gamut to Rec 709 CST. And I can't do that if I'm using Resolve color management, because that happens at the end. You're forced for that to happen at the end. I'm doing that less and less now, building up to potentially doing some HDR work where I need to be. That really does need to be the last node. So I'm kind of still tweaking my style after 13 years.
Man, yeah,
But
I'll
still always be a CST workflow. I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, that's the way I look at it too. But yeah, cool. Well, hey man, this has been really great. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, and thank you for those tips. And guys, show some love in the chat for Darren. Man, this has been great, man. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. That was fun. I'll see you at ResolveCon. I can't wait.
All right. Well,
what we got, 4 weeks?
Yeah, pretty quick. So, guys, make sure to check out Darren's channel if you haven't, and make sure to check out ResolveCon if you haven't. Go to resolvecon.com, get your tickets, and at least sign up for the live stream. We are going to be streaming quite a few different little presentations there. It's going to be amazing. And
I haven't written mine yet, so you don't know that's true, but it'll be amazing.
Great.
I'm looking forward to seeing you again, Casey, and all the crew and everyone who's actually flying out there. You're going to love it. So, and if not, enjoy the live stream, and make sure you check out my live stream when I hit 100K.
Yeah,
I'm giving away loads of free prizes. So I think I've got about 10, 11 things to give away. So it's all free.
Yeah, man.
Just subscribe, notify, all that, whatever you call it.
So
you
cool.
think I'd know by now what to say.
Do all the things.
I'm really bad.
All the things the YouTube's ask you to.
Hit the thing, All right, Casey, thanks for having me, mate.
All right, man. Thank you guys so much. Take it easy.
Take care. Bye. Look after yourself.